Since the buyout of WCW, there has never been such a movement of wrestlers from one company to another, with AEW getting many former WWE stars. However, WWE has also made it easy for them, not taking them seriously and releasing their top names. With 2021 coming to an end, this is Wrestling Up, and here are surprising WWE departures that can take place this year. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Up and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Ricochet, when he first signed with WWE, seemed destined for great things. He was even meeting those levels when he was on NXT, where he became North American Champion. On the main roster, he has been pigeonholed as someone who lacks charisma. Ricochet was even turned heel for a while, something that made no sense, but was then turned face again. He is someone who had some of the best matches in 2016 and 17. Now, his prime years are passing away. Soon, he may decide to leave for AEW, or even if not, he could just return to the Indies and go back to having incredible matches. Drew Gulak was cut as a part of the first mass release in 2020 in April, but soon enough he was back. He had been part of a promising partnership with Daniel Bryan, but since he came back, anything with promise has faded. Gulak was instead relegated to the 24/7 title picture. The star is obviously talented and has been a part of some of the best technical matches. He's also good on the mic, and with the fact that he is in the good books of Daniel Bryan, he might have a place waiting for him in AEW. When Cedric Alexander appeared in the Cruiserweight Classic in 2016, he was defeated by Kota Ibushi, but fans started to chant asking WWE to sign him. Triple H then came out of the back to meet Alexander and gave him and the crowd a thumbs up. Over the next 2 years, he became the face of the Cruiserweight division. Alexander had a hard time when he moved to Raw, as he seemed on the cusp of something great week after week. Then reports started to emerge that Paul Heyman saw him as a great talent, but it started to become clear that someone else didn't like Alexander. The stop-start booking surrounding the star was frustrating to say the least. Dave Meltzer reported that Vince McMahon wanted to bury Cedric. Heyman's plans were nixed, and he was buried in his hometown match against AJ Styles. Despite a good run with the Hurt Business, which has also since stopped and started again, Cedric's fate has been to be frustrated in WWE. In AEW, Big Swole, his wife, works for the company. Should Cedric choose to leave WWE, then he could end up becoming a force in AEW. Early in her WWE career, Sasha Banks tried to quit, and it was Vince McMahon who kept her in the company. One of the hardest things that I had to do was ask to leave WWE. Vince was like, no. He said no. He said, I'm going to give you 30 days to think about it. And it took more than 30 days. This place can definitely get to you. It's hard. McMahon is not usually shown in an understanding light. Still, over time, Banks has continuously been connected with a move from WWE. No matter where she is, Sasha will be a draw. With that, were she to leave WWE, any company would race to sign her. Kushida is a 6-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. He also fought 8 times in MMA with a record of 6 wins and 2 draws. In WWE, Kushida is recognized as being one of the better stars, with him winning the Cruiserweight title. The Japanese star, despite his sole achievement in WWE, has not wrestled that often, even though when he does, he can steal the show. He could be saying goodbye to WWE by the end of the year and return to Japan, or could head to AEW. For fans unaware of Shinsuke Nakamura before WWE, he may appear like someone who does not care that much about anything. Pictured surfing and enjoying himself often, fans have thought Nakamura was perfectly happy in WWE. Before WWE, Nakamura's name, the King of Strong Style, meant something. He was the IWGP Heavyweight Champion and was regularly facing top names. His match against AJ Styles is noted as one of the best of either star's career. In WWE, even though he is Intercontinental Champion, he is nowhere near where he should be. He has year after year been disrespected, and his big run against AJ was all about low blows instead of wrestling. If Kushida would return to Japan as a hero, Nakamura would return as a legend. He is more than 40 years old and does not have that long left. He knows New Japan would re-sign him in an instant, and with his career nearing an end, he may choose to return home. Chad Gable was always a star who could do anything in the ring. When he first started to wrestle as a part of American Alpha, he started to draw comparisons to Kurt Angle repeatedly. At the pinnacle of the sport, his talent in the ring was undeniable, but unfortunately his position in WWE was not. Often, he was pointed out as the person who could be a star in the company, and his talent was something that everyone but WWE seemed to see. With WWE being ruled by Vince McMahon, it seemed that there was no way that the chairman would see past the height of the wrestler. Gable seemed like he would be a mid-card talent forever in WWE despite having the skill needed to be at the top. According to a report by Dave Meltzer, there's unfortunate news surrounding Gable in WWE. Meltzer said that Gable's athleticism and work ethic was something that had been noted by his friends again and again, and it seemed that those closest to him were asking him to leave the company. Chad has not addressed the rumor himself, but the wrestler is known for being loyal to WWE, though if his current booking continues, that might not last. Gable is thus yet another wrestler who might choose to value himself enough to leave WWE by the end of this year. Any wrestling promotion would take him in 1 second, and WWE would be the ones regretting the loss of one of the best possible stars. Gable is still young, and given the right booking, he could achieve the same sort of success in his career as Angle. For how long has Cesaro been talked about as one of the most underrated wrestlers in WWE? The Swiss cyborg is beloved by fans, but despite everything, WWE has refused to push him consistently. Earlier this year, it appeared that he was finally getting the push that everyone wanted to see him get. Cesaro himself talked about his mindset in WWE and how the culture and work has changed for rewarding those who have been wrestling year after year. I sound so old right now, but you know when you say that you used to work for a company for 10, 20 years and then you get that old watch? There's no such thing as that anymore. There's no pride in just working hard and working well and delivering every single day. It's always like, okay, how do I get famous? How do I get this? How do I get that? They always want to find who the new big guy is or who the new chosen one is. Who can I jump on the bandwagon before everybody else? He also talked about the change he had to make and how lost he felt after the bar broke up. Given how much the bar was over, I felt really lost after the bar broke up, and I tried some different things. Tried some new gear, some new outfits, and it kind of came to a realization that sometimes you need to try something different to find out who you are. It was just kind of looking more inside at who I am, what I stand for, and I'm like, I stand for wrestling. That's the pure form. That's what I love. That's what I grew up on. The frustration was clear in what Cesaro had to say. The Star's push against Roman Reigns came up short yet again, something that has been seen at every moment in his WWE run. With that being the case, it might not be totally strange to see him leave WWE soon, given that he is not even featured on TV anymore on a regular basis. For a while, much like Cesaro, Kevin Owens has been the subject to stop-start pushes. He is one of the most popular and has been seen as someone who could become a huge star. However, he is not the most sculpted star when it comes to his physique, and in WWE, that is seen as a weakness despite the star's willingness to destroy anyone that comes across him. There have been rumors for a while that Owens is unhappy in WWE. With some of his best real-life friends like Cole now heading to AEW, the rumors have been swirling that he will make the move soon. According to Fightful, although Owens is making a lot with his new deal, it will run out quickly, as he could end up leaving the company this year. Charlotte Flair seemed often like the one star that would not be released from WWE at any point. However, after the recent happenings behind the scenes in WWE, the same is not true. On a recent SmackDown where Charlotte and Becky were exchanging titles, the second-gen star decided to take things into her own hands. She was not a fan of the title swapping, and had stated that backstage, but had been given her marching orders to go ahead with it. Instead of doing so, she went to the ring and didn't hand Becky the title. She threw it down, thereby spoiling the segment that was supposed to put Sasha Banks over as a face. Lynch was understandably furious and reacted by improvising the segment by throwing her title at Flair, then grabbing hers before leaving the ring. The two would go on to have a shouting match backstage, where Lynch was angry at her for going against the plans, as many saw Becky as a hero for standing up to Flair. Backstage, there has been a lot of heat on Charlotte as a result of her actions. Now there are reports that Flair might be leaving WWE to join AEW given the heat that is on her, and with management furious. After the recent happenings on Dark Side of the Ring, Ric Flair is not too popular either. Andrade is also working in AEW, and Charlotte does not really have any support in WWE. It's likely Flair, the star that WWE helped build from the ground up, might be leaving WWE to join their greatest rival, in a move no one will be happy about. There is one wrestler in WWE who has been treated worse than anyone could have imagined when he first arrived. Sami Zayn on NXT was a top star and had the most memorable matches. Not only that, he was the star everyone loved. On the main roster, writers and backstage officials found him to be someone who was rather annoying because he was not one to hold back his opinions. They turned him heel after months of no big matches other than his feuds with Kevin Owens. Since turning heel, he was able to win the IC title and slowly take the spotlight. He is definitely in a better position now than he has been in a long time, though that's not even a sample of what he is capable of. Zayn's contract with WWE is nearing an end, with his original 3-year deal signed in June 2018 extended due to an injury. With the contract coming up, it's likely he'll elect to not re-sign, given he has proven all that he can do in the ring and on the mic. And these were surprising WWE departures that can happen this year. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.